I want to mention is the Mars-Chiron alignment in Aries. Mars also rules Aries, so it's in its own sign, which is stronger. And then, of course, Jupiter is also in Aries. So Mars kind of is connected to that Jupiter energy as well. So this combination between Mars and Chiron might indicate a feeling of restlessness and impatience. We tend to feel that we're not good enough, or something's not enough, that something is going too slowly, that the process of something is too slow, and we're tired of waiting. There can be a feeling of frustration. So, but we're also looking we're looking for tools or ways to heal and to heal our relationship to that frustration as well. So ask yourself, what might shift if my masculine doing energy stood in service to my intuitive, receptive, feminine energy? And what might a holistic approach make possible? And please remember, holistic means mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. If we connect to things from all of those levels, that's a holistic approach. Now, we may also more easily feel triggered by other people with the Mars-Chiron combo in Aries. So ask yourself, if that happens, what might be possible if I practice being kind to myself when triggers do show up, when I do get triggered, when I do get frustrated or impatient or angry about something. You know, there's something that's maybe a little bit more of a stronger reaction than what one would normally expect. Those are triggers that are connected to something in our past. And how could I create 5% more understanding of my relationship to masculinity and the expression of anger? And remember, we're not talking about gender here necessarily. Sometimes gender can bring out our understanding, our relationship to the masculine, right? Like sometimes we can see more clearly what our relationship to that is because of how we perceive people from that gender. But masculinity is something that each one of us has inside of us. So when we see something in the gender of masculinity, then it's just a reflection of what's already living within ourselves. So if we see unhealthy masculinity out there in the world, we might have an unhealthy relationship internally to our own inner masculine energy, either too much or too little. So how could I create 5% more understanding of my relationship to masculinity and the expression of anger? And of course, anger is one of those things that's not easy to have a healthy relationship with, especially not if you do have Chiron and Aries natally as well, because that means that anger was something that you experienced in a wounding kind of a way, in a disempowering kind of a way. And so then your relationship to anger becomes something that you don't want to be with, or that you feel separation between your own relationship to anger and how you've experienced anger from the outside world. Now, what might be a natural and confident expression of anger? And what might that look like for me? And I want you to just sort of like explore that a little bit. See if you can find examples of a natural and confident expression of anger, whether that's an example that you have with yourself when you express anger in a healthy way, or other people expressing anger in a healthy way. And there is such a thing, by the way, right? Anger is not always unhealthy. So how could anger serve me, right? We want to really find examples of how anger can be healthy and how it can be a good thing. What does a healthy expression of anger look like? Could I allow myself and others to express anger as long as it is not destructive. Right? Because often we see anger as something that becomes very destructive, that becomes something that hurts other people. It becomes something that can go from like anger with words to like physical aggression and rage, where it can be very painful and hurtful and even dangerous. So anger has a lot of levels of which we can express anger. And, could I allow myself and others to express anger as long as it is not destructive? And what might it look like? How might that feel when someone can express their anger in a non-destructive way? And what would courage do? If I had more courage when anger comes at me, or if I had more courage in expressing my own anger. So what would that look like? How would that feel? So these are just some really great questions to investigate, to contemplate, to journal on, to meditate on. Feel free to really engage with these questions, because anger can be a really difficult one for a lot of people, whether you're male or female. Now, if you have any questions about my monthly forecasting forums, about soul-based astrology courses, about membership functions, astrology in general, please do not hesitate to reach out to info@astrologercoach.com. Any personal questions, please ask them during the upcoming monthly forecasting forum on June 18th. You can ask them either in advance. If you can't join live, you can ask them by June 17th, and I will include them, will include your question in the webinar, in the live webinar, so you can get your question answered even if you can't be there live. Or you can ask them also on June 18th at the time of the forum. I will answer questions then as well. Or if you want something a little bit more private or more one-on-one, you can book a reading with either Leah or myself via my website. We both have all kinds of readings available, shorter readings, longer readings. So feel free to take a look at what might be a good match for you. And thanks so much for watching this video. Stay grounded in your body and flexible with your mind and with your heart. And as always, if you need support in any way, please feel free to reach out. Leah and I are always happy to support via reading, and I'm also happy to support via coaching healing session. If healing is what you're looking for, those are available as well on my website. All right, so have a good one, and I will see you again at the time of the new moon for the next video. All right, much love. Bye-bye.